Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the evening session of one-day international seminar on social work and sciences on occasion of World Social Work Month and Week and World Social Work Day celebrations. With the theme, Vivir, Shared Future for Transformative Change, a multidisciplinary approach. So before we start valedictory session, we request any participants who have left out for their presentations to quickly share in the chat box. This is a last opportunity. So we thought we would allot some time. We'll be starting our valedictory sessions from 6:30. In the meanwhile, if there are any presentations, we can take it up. Okay, what we can do in the meanwhile, we can take the feedback session from the participants and presenters. Those who would like to share their feedback on these sessions, on this entire, those who have participated in the past 1 week celebrations of 1 week international conference and also today's international one-day seminar. You can share your feedback, observations, queries regarding conference. So before opening the feedback from the participants, first of all, I would like to thank all the participants, presenters for being part of this World Social Work Day and Month celebrations. And it's not an easy task to organize such a huge program in the very first place. And within very short notice, even when we notified, I don't think we had even 1 week time also. Hardly, 2 weeks, 2 weeks before we planned to have a one-day program. But we decided just hardly there wasn't much time. Within a week, we had floated. And we had a very good response. As the registrations are still open for the 1 week, we had around 850, around 850 registrations for the 1 week international conference. And we have 250 plus registrations for this international seminar. Altogether, it was more than 1,000 plus participants registered. And among that, we had 200 plus registered as presenters in the 1 week international conference, and more than 50 plus presenters registered as presenters. I mean, participants registered as presenters in this 1 day seminar. And this was also floated just, 2 days back, a very short notice. And morning we could complete. In that 50, only 13 of them could present, as they have joined the conference, and others, though they have requested, but couldn't make it for the conference and seminar. So anyway, no need to worry, as this is an ongoing sessions where you can present at any point of time, daily 6 to 8, any day. So you can utilize this opportunity to present on any day. So as far as the dissemination of knowledge is concerned, no need to worry. This platform continuously provides many opportunities. And it has also provided, many presenters also various opportunities to share, and participants, like all of us, to gain much knowledge over a period of time, over sessions. And as it was a very short notice and requests were many, so we thought, instead of scheduling, we'll invite one by one as and they have joined. In fact, that strategy worked well, because in spite of scheduling also, we have seen, because it was a very short notice, and it happens many times, we see people apply, register, but they don't attend or they don't present. It happens in every conference, it happens across the world. It's not new, or it's not unique to any particular platform. And that too, in a short notice, we had received very huge response, that is accommodating 200 presentations, and that too, there was no fixed time limit. That was another challenge, because some topics really require good time, some topics may not require time, and it is the presenter who can decide the time required for his or her own presentation. Though the ideal is always between 10 minutes, somewhere between 3 to 10 minutes, but some require much more time. So we have left it to the presenters itself, how much time they require. And based on that, we thought we would be scheduling. So accordingly, we tried to tentatively schedule. But in spite of that, many could not utilize opportunities. And they have been sending requests. So further, we gave so many opportunities till the end of the first week conference, so that even others who couldn't utilize initial days, they could present on the last day also. We gave them chance. So last day also, before valedictory, few participants could make their presentation. And today also, we had good number of presentations in the morning. And based on the requests some presenters, that we also allotted some time now to have their presentations. So if still, I don't think they have joined yet, but still, see, opportunities are always open. And being a social worker ourselves should always open the opportunity. But at the same time, we should also have the boundaries, limits. We should be very flexible. We should be open. At the same time, there should be somewhere a boundary where we should not cross that boundary. In a similar way, because of time constraints and various other limited resources, we all have limited resources. No one has on the planet unlimited resources. We are limited by time, even by our life also. We all have limited life. One or other day, we all need to die as we have born. So it's only matter of today or tomorrow, or this day or that day. But our time also will end. So similarly, because of that constraint, we need to keep boundaries for everything so that we do not get stuck in that and neglect other portions of our life or career. So that's why, as a social workers, we need to explore more possibilities and give more opportunities. Because as a social worker, we have multiple roles to play as an advocate, as an enabler, as a change maker, and various roles to empower the needy. So in that sense, we are very liberal in terms of providing opportunities, and this platform is such a platform which was created basically, to provide opportunity. This is not a first time that opportunities has come or have been created. When every university, every college organizes one seminar or conference or different kind of academic events to provide opportunity to the students, research scholars, faculty members, and so on. So this has been tradition in every college, every university, or even in community as well. We see a lot of programs organized to give opportunity for the people who would like to express themselves and who would like to share knowledge, who would like to share their talent. Only thing is, as a social worker or as a common person, we always need to look for right opportunities and leverage the benefits of that opportunity in the right manner. We always right time, right opportunity. We talk about righteousness. Why this right time, right person, right place? What happens when we do it in a wrong time? What happens when rain falls in summer? What happens when snow falls in summer? Right? So it is not appropriate time. That is, we are not prepared. That is not expected. That is not usual. So we have to put more efforts, or sometimes the efforts of the initiative which we take may not fructify, or it can invite more troubles. So instead of gaining something, we might end up losing something. So that is why this righteousness always saves us. So that comes either through experience on our own or by learning from others' experiences. We cannot experience everything on our own. That is very important. especially for social workers. If we have to understand cancer or some disease, it doesn't mean we have to get that disease, then only we will understand. Or if we have to understand elite or rich lifestyle, it doesn't mean that you have to be rich. You have to be elite, then only you will be able to understand. When we talk about empathy, being in others' shoes, to understand from their perspective. So it means that we are learning from others' experiences, others' learning. So in a similar way, here we need to understand others' perspective. It's not always that we are considering our own perspective and leaving out other perspective. For social worker, it is very important to understand different perspectives. Say, dealing with a problem. If a client has a problem, and as a social worker, if he has to deal with the problem can have multiple factors coming from multiple sources, having multiple implications. So we need to understand a diversified view, diversified perspectives, so that we can arrive at a solution that would be more feasible, more practicable, which require the best possible resources. So in a similar way, we have a lot of challenges. Life itself is a challenge. Every day is a challenge, and every day is an opportunity. Every moment is an opportunity. Every moment is a challenge. But how we take that moment, how we understand, how we perceive, and how we respond to, either we are reacting to it or we are responding to it. It depends on us. That decides the consequence. Whether we are responding or whether we are reacting. Now, what is the difference between response and reaction? Can anyone share what is the difference between response and reaction? You can unmute yourself or share in chat box. Anything is fine. Hope you are able to unmute yourself. If not, you can raise your hand so that I can help you to unmute. Can anyone share what is the difference between reaction and response? Feel free to raise your hand or share your, unmute yourself and share. No one? You can give it a try. There is no right or wrong answer. Anyone would like to try? No idea? Response always is a Response is always a
instinctive emotional response.
Sorry?
Reaction is an instinctive and emotional response for any situation.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
That is, that comes from the past experience of our fears and frights.
Okay.
And while responding is a thoughtful and deliberate action.
Okay.
Which makes conscious decisions. It comes out from conscious decisions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Subrata. Yeah, that is also correct. Can we have any other explanation, Mary Florence?
Sir, response is the answer to a problem. Reaction is like any feelings like happiness, sadness, like that. So.
Yeah, both are right.
Sir, may I?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Responses are often more controlled.
Yeah.
And compared to reaction.
Okay, you mean to say responses are more emotionally controlled?
Yes.
Okay, true. That is also true. Good. Anyone else?
Sir, one thing, reactions are often automatic. When we react, we have no control sometimes. So we react, that is, we can say reaction are often automatic.
Okay. That's also true. Then what could be the other possibilities, other possible answers? Anyone else would like to try? Feel free.
Response brings responsibilities.
Good. This is also one perspective. Being responsible. I mean, responding. The response is with responsibility.
Responses, sir, one thing more. Responses are also decision making.
Yeah, it is also decision making, right?
रिस्पॉन्सेज हम सोच समझ के देते हैं सर, रिएक्ट हम इमीडिएटली कर देते हैं कई बार. रिस्पॉन्सेज हम जो भी है मतलब एक काम होते रहते हैं मेरे ख्याल से.
True. Anyone else?
I think response is involuntary and reaction is some action is involved. Purposefully we do.
Deliberately, you mean? Okay. Can you give some examples or at least one example?
For example, we see some insect or something like that. Involuntarily, we throw it off. Sometimes we try to kill it. The example for reaction, and next one is responsible for response.
Yeah, true. Very well.
Sir, one more thing. May I, sir?
Yeah, please.
Sir, this is a live example. We are reacting, whatever you're asking, we are reacting immediately. But the feedback form is a response. Okay, sir? This can be an example?
Yes, that is also true. Anyone else? See, what we are doing is, we are trying to understand different perspectives. See, we are trying to get the answer from different points with different levels of understanding in their own context. Everyone has different contexts, different environments, and different life experiences, where we try to understand concepts in different ways with our own examples. So here, what we are trying to extract is trying to gain different perspectives. As everyone has said, reaction is something which has strong emotions, which has impulsiveness. We react when we are in stress, when we are in anxiety, and when we are not controlled, and when we are in a restless situation, or when we are controlled by others. So these are all different situations where we react, or sometimes we react because it is something beyond our immediate control. You know, sometimes you feel, you know, someone is bragging you, nagging you, or continuously disturbing you. Then how you do respond? Because this happens in the social work. Why I'm asking is, you know, while we are doing some social work, field work especially, community work, or either in clinical settings or community settings, some person is continuously back of you. So what you will do? You will respond or react. For how many times you will respond and how many times you will react? It's a general question. Don't think too much. Yeah.
Sir, it depends on our
one by one. Yeah, one after another.
It depends on our mood. If we are happy, that time we can help him or that beggar. If we are not happy, we can react, maybe rudely. So this can be.
Okay. Anyone else? Someone was responding. Pallavi, I don't remember.
It depends upon our maturity levels. If we are being frustrated, we'll do reaction, or else we'll do response.
Okay. Good. So it all depends on the two factors. One is ourselves. Because what happens outside us, we cannot control. What happens within us only we can control. There are so many things happening around us. Now, when we go for a field work, or when we go for any community work, or even in clinical settings, or even in our own office, when we are doing some work, or even take in day-to-day life, and when we are at home dealing with our own children, or our own siblings, or family members, or relatives, we are under stressful situation. Sometimes, not always. So when we are in stressful situations, say your child is asking for some permission, and you are saying, I will try to consider, but he or she is continuously behind you, which he or she is not able to understand that he or she has to be disciplined, have to wait for some time, have to be patient, have to be responsible. Then how would you respond? Anyone? Feel free to share.
Is happy hormones related to it, sir?
Happy hormones related?
To be cool, calm, and be responsible?
No, what I mean to say is, okay, that's fine. If your child is continuously troubling you for something which you cannot immediately grant him or her, how would you like to respond?
It's a reaction.
Okay. Why only reaction?
Continuously disturbing the person.
So what we can do in that context?
Patience. You should have patience.
We have to put our feet in his shoes or her shoes and act as a child, as a friend, as a reformer, coolly and calmly.
What if, in spite of being in his or her shoes, and he still goes on a demanding mode, from requesting mode to demanding mode? How you are going to respond?
Sir, shall I give you a normal one? Just we do.
I'm also expecting normal thing only. Don't go into
We give a clap, sir.
Because for the complex problems, there are simple solutions. We often
Yes,
look for complex solutions. That's why we get into trouble.
So first we will try to pacify him. Otherwise, we will give one thing. That's all.
So they say
that is the general thing we do in India.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have different ways of dealing. Our elders also gave. Pehle baat acha.
But it may not be good, sir. But we do generally like that.
It is not good, but there is no other way because choices are becoming limited now.
Yes, sir.
See, that's what happens, when choices are more, we can choose from. When choices are less, then there is no other option to use the only choice. Sometimes that's why we should not leave any person with the only choice left. We should always be open to provide alternative choice. If that is not possible immediately, a client has come, he has some issue that he wants to resolve it immediately. Immediately he wants a solution. And he has come up with a solution which is not feasible, which is not practicable, which is not agreeable by the other party. Now what you will do? Say suppose he is looking for some pension or some benefit from the government, which he or she is not eligible, but he approached you as a social worker to get the benefit. Now what is that you are going to do? He wants that benefit at any cost, but you have to do it in a righteous way. Not by any other. Yeah.
Pen down, means write it in a paper and we'll tell him whether it is feasible for him or whether it is possible to him to get the solution or not.
But he or she is still adamant that he wants that benefit. Then what is that you are going to?
See, being ethical, we have to be ethical.
Yeah, that's what I mean to say. Righteousness means all following the proper rules and regulations, all being ethical, moral, in all contexts. You have such a client before you sitting that I need this benefits, but he is not eligible or she is not eligible for that at that moment, at least. Now, what is that we are going to do as a social worker? Yeah, Pradeep Patra, you have been waiting since long time. You can unmute yourself. I see your hand raised. Pradeep Patra, you can unmute. Or if it's just by mistake, it's okay. Others can respond. Yeah, Sunita Parekh, you were trying to answer? Yeah, anyone? How we will deal with that such client?
We may say that we will try and we will inform it to the higher authorities, and like that we will avoid him.
Okay, still if it doesn't, leave you and is still behind you, then what is that we are going to do? Well, these are the practical things we face day in and day out.
Yeah, we are, nowadays we are facing all these problems.
So what is that, we can do? Feel free. I mean, anyone can respond.
Sir, good evening, sir. This is Dr. Padmaja.
Yeah, Dr. Padmaja. Please go ahead.
Yeah, actually, sir, as a social worker, the first thing is that we should be very much confident when we are sitting in a particular position to offer help to the client. So whether the client comes with any problem, whatever it may be. So we should be very much confident and assure him that some sort of relief will be offered to him. So and that too, he should try to cooperate, and with the mutual cooperation only we can achieve anything. So this is the first type of contract we have to make with the client. So the mutual contract is very, very much essential, so that the client should also try to understand the situations. Depending upon the varying situations, he should also try to understand his position. So when he demands that he wants, as you said, that he wants certain pension like that, first we will let him the various sources where he can get pension, whether through government or whatever it may be. So in the government, what are the various reasons that he could not able to get the pension? We should try to explain him in all the ways what are the various reasons why it has been failed. Later we should also convince him that whether you are in such a need, I will also try another resources. You also try to participate with me and observe the resources where he can get. And beyond that also, if he could not able to get by that time, we should make the client to understand his position. Without making him understand his position, we can't complete the task with the government. Whether the answer may be positive or answer may be negative, the client should stand with the social worker regarding his position.
Yes, ma'am. Very well said. The first thing is the social worker competency in handling issues and preparedness of handling various diversified issues and problems, and the knowledge, especially knowledge of different strategies, methods, which we can use. As rightly ma'am has pointed out, we also need to look for different solutions available. No, that's why having different perspectives, open mindset is always, essential for a social worker, because there are a lot of incidental or accidental opportunities that come in our way as part of this process. So when we are working on different kinds of solutions, day in and day out, social worker life is not so easy. As being a social worker, that too in community, has a lot of challenges. And people have a lot of expectations that social worker, because the way sometimes social worker projects also, don't worry, I'm there, we'll find out some solution. The assurance we give also sometimes creates an environment where they are also more demanding, and sometimes it helps them to boost their confidence. But at the same time, the challenges are varied and complex, and especially when such things are involved, especially with public organizations like government or public agencies, there are a lot of things that keep happening, and there is a lot of red tapeism, lot of delay in the process, and we also need to look out of box solutions where we can help the client. So in similar way, that's why it is very important to approach the problem in different ways where we can address the problem. Not every solution. Why we are talking this is not everything will suit everywhere, every time. There is no one solution for every problem all the time. So depending on the time, depending on the situation, depending on the context, depending on the person, certain solutions may work, may not work. Certain strategies may work, may not work. So every case, we need to tailor our solutions and devise our strategies for the implementation. So these are, simple things that we face, and that's why we need to be very conscious about what we are doing, and also have in-depth knowledge of various methods, strategies, principles, so that we can use them effectively in our day-to-day practice. In fact, as we have a lot of papers presented and a lot of speakers spoke about scope of social work. Today, social worker has a lot of scope. You take any field, you name a field, there is a need for social worker. And day by day, the role of social worker is diversifying, but still we are finding challenges. There are various factors for that. First thing, as everyone is saying, or everyone has a common opinion, that we are not working unitedly, because everyone has their own, kind of perspective or a strategy to go about it at large. Why things are not happening? Why only certain things are happening, certain things are not happening? Because of lack of this common perspective or common thought process. In spite of having common thought process, we are not having common strategies. Different strategies are being applied or taken up for achieving a common goal. That is why there are a lot of challenges in achieving. But at the same time, there is some progress happening, and the efforts put by various individuals and organizations, there are more and more opportunities coming up. Even social workers are being trained in additional subjects, topics like counseling. Counseling is part of social work at the same time, and further in-depth knowledge of counseling is being provided. And there are also various specializations like palliative care, geriatric care, that is also very much in need today, because the aging population is growing. The life expectancy has increased, and today we have more senior citizens on the planet. Next to youth, the highest population is youth, children and youth, and the second highest population is the aged population. So we need lot of services in the field of geriatrics. And geriatrics as a specialization, it has lot of subspecializations where a social worker can play an active role, which is an emerging field. And apart from that, as the longevity increase, there are a lot of challenges. Physical challenges in terms of mobility, psychological challenges in terms of loneliness or loss of companion, loss of loved ones, or due to emptiness syndrome, children are somewhere, and parents are somewhere, and various challenges. And social, because they are relocated or they are rehabilitated or they leave their jobs and they settle somewhere else. So they are missing all their colleagues, family members, and all the workmates or batchmates, and the society in which they were earlier, or the community which they were part of. And financially also, because they are no longer as productive as earlier, so their earnings also falls down, and they have more expenditure now, not in terms of children's, but their own expenses due to their own maintenance. So these are the various challenges, various scope that, and disease burden is also growing. Though diseases are, new disorders are coming, new diseases are coming because of climate change, because of our lifestyle, because of consumption of more meat products, more junk products. What does this mean? That means more energy, more consumption of calories, less work and more consumption. What will happen when we are not balancing our food? I mean, the intake of energy, calories, and the work we do, what happens? It causes diseases. The excess energy which is not spent, that turns into a disease gradually. That is where nowadays, most of them are suffering from lifestyle disorders or diseases like diabetes, hypertension, blood pressure. All these are lifestyle diseases because we are not actively engaged in metabolic activities. So because of that, we are facing a lot of issues related to health, especially most of them are related to physical health. Lack of proper physical mobility. We are not able to do proper exercise. So that means restricted movements of body. So what happens? Body is also a machine, like with so many integrated subsystems with it. What happens when a machine is lying there, not used, or a part of a machine that is not used? What happens? It gets stuck and it doesn't function that well. Slowly, it gets to lose its functionality and becomes dysfunctional. Similar way, when we have most of these, especially musculoskeletal disorders or such disorders or such diseases are occurred because of this kind of restrictive movements. Because we have very restrictive patterns of work. We are doing only routine work. That's why we have very restricted movements. And every occupation has its own kind of movements associated with it, which are very restrictive, unless and until like a job which requires, like swimming. In swimming, every body part is put into action. That's why everyone has to learn swimming and practice swimming. And aerobics, or even if you can't do swimming or aerobics or gymnastics, the simple thing you can do is brisk walking. No need of jogging, running also. Just walk slowly, calmly, relaxed way. Even if you can't go outside, you can walk inside. And that is more than enough, wherever you are. Now, even there are different strategies, different techniques that has come up. So minimum walking is required to keep us healthy. When social worker is healthy only, he or she will be able to productively engage in his services. Social workers' holistic health is very much essential to deliver the services effectively by taking care of himself or herself at the same time in delivering the services. So social worker has to be physically fit, mentally stable or psychologically stable, and socially outgoing with good relationships, able to handle relationships, and also self-sustainable. That means financially or economically, also he or she should be able to sustain himself or herself. Only then a social worker can deliver his services. If one of these needs are not satisfied, there is always a kind of friction that happens, and that is impacting his or her services that is being delivered. So these are various challenges, apart from various challenges that were discussed, and having always look for simple solutions. Don't go for complex solutions, and always try to simplify the problem. Don't put all together and create a big problem. So what we do when we have to solve any issue, any problem, we have to break it into small parts. Then when we start addressing it, when we try to understand different factors, when we say we are breaking, it doesn't mean literally breaking. It means trying to understand different factors that are causing the problem, that are maintaining the problem, that are aggravating the problem. When we understand and try to resolve each individually and also at times collectively, then we can come up with diverse solutions which can be applicable or practical. So in similar ways, we have various challenges to address not only in the services we offer, but also in terms of our training, education, fieldwork, practice, profession. We have a lot of challenges. We need to address them in a productive, constructive way. We need to collaborate. The main thing is we need to cooperate with each other, collaborate with each other, so that we, as one unit, one family or one fraternity, together, we can address the problems and challenges. In such way, we will be able to address different aspects or different problems that we are facing. So we will quickly take one presentation and then Virendra Kumarji, are you ready with your presentation? Yeah, you have been granted permissions. You can unmute yourself, start your video.
Yes, okay. Now I'm able to unmute myself. I'm connected from two devices, so I'll be sharing my presentation from laptop and I'll be using audio of my phone.
The other ID also have been given, sir.
Yes, I am able to share also. So is it visible now, sir?
Yes, sir. Please continue.
Okay, thank you. Today we shall see one very important legal provision. It is very old provision, more than 1.5 century old, since British India, to solve the disputes in rural India related to cattle. Cattle does not mean only cow or say buffalo. Cattle has very wide definition in this act. We shall see the legal definition. It is a small act of 30 sections, and some of the provisions have been repealed. Some powers have been given to collectors as far as the rural areas are concerned. So we shall see what is this Cattle Trespass Act. India is mainly an agriculture country and much agriculture population is there. So to solve the disputes, when the cattle of one, say, farmer enter the cattle of another, say, maybe some agriculture land and do some damage there. So for protection of cattle and for providing them, say, the food and water, these cattle are deposited under the control of the collector, and then the owner is found. And after the owner has been found, the cattle are returned to them, and the cost of, say, feeding the cattle recovered from the owner. This is briefly the scheme of the act. So it is also a minor criminal law, provides also for some say punishments, some penalties in case there are some violations. So let us see these provisions one by one. It is an act to consolidate and amend the law relating to trespasses by cattle. It is a central act. It is applicable all over India. It is very old act, but not, say, many people may not be aware of its provisions. So we shall see what are the provisions of this Act. This Act may be called the Cattle Trespass Act 1871, and it extends to the whole of India except the territories which immediately before the 1st November 1956 were comprised in Part B states. So, as some of you might be aware, there were four categories of states, that is ABCD in India. Now we have only two categories out of that, because the first States Reorganization Commission, which reconstituted the states on 1st November 1956, and then as per the implementation of second State Reorganization Commission, which came into effect from 1st November 1966, now we have only states and union territories in India. But earlier there were, before the merger of these princely states, we had ABCD, four categories of states. And the presidency towns, there were only three presidency towns, that is Bombay, Calcutta and Madras. Delhi was not a presidency, and Delhi was not even a capital of India until 1911. At such local areas, as the state government by notification in the official gazette may from time to time exclude from its operation. That means the Act is applicable all over India, but the state government may exclude some specific areas from its operation depending on the specific conditions. Second one was repeal of acts, references to repealed acts. So all the old acts applicable before this 1871 were repealed. And even this section itself became obsolete. So that was repealed in 1938 after there were state governments of Congress. So as some of you might be aware of the constitutional history, there was government of India at 1935 and state governments were Indian, central government was British. And this arrangement continued for 12 years. So state governments Indian and central government British was up to 1947, after which the central government also became Indian. And there were, say, 9 elected state governments where Congress party came into power in 1935. And from 1935 to 1947, there were Congress governments in 9 major states. This provision became, say, obsolete after the Indian governments came into 9 states. So in 1938, this section was repealed. Now the interpretation clause, some very important definitions, that is officer of police, village watchman and cattle. So officer of police, village watchman and cattle. So as far as cattle is concerned, so cattle includes camels, buffaloes, horses, mares, geldings, ponies, colts, fillies, mules, asses, pigs, rams, ewes, sheep, lambs, goats, and kids. So all these are called as cattle. Officer of police includes also village watchmen. So we have two different types of police systems at that time, as per Police Act 1861. So there was village officers of police, which came under Police Act, and there were village watchmen. Third definition here is local authority. So it means any body of persons for the time being invested by law with the control and administration of any matters within a specified local area. And local fund means any fund under the control or management of a local authority, that is local fund. So these are the 4 definitions that are included in this interpretation clause. Very old drafting. Then chapter 2 provides for pounds and pound keepers. Now whenever such stray cattle are found, say damaging agriculture or doing some nuisance, so since the cattle cannot be killed, so there are established pounds in every district. So pounds shall be established at such places as the magistrate of the district, subject to the general control of the state government, from time to time directs. The village by which every pound is to be used shall be determined by the magistrate of the district. So this is a simple provision for pounds and pound keepers. Fifth section is control of pounds, rates or charge for feeding impounded cattle. So whenever the stray cattle have been found, it includes all those animals that we have seen earlier in interpretation clause. So the pound shall be under the control of the magistrate or of the district, and he shall fix and may from time to time alter the rates of charge for feeding and watering impounded cattle. So cattle can't be, say, imprisoned, cattle can't be killed. So care has to be taken properly of cattle who have been found stray, and then there is a provision for feeding and watering the impounded cattle. The sixth section is appointment of pound keepers. Pound keepers may hold other offices. That means they are not full-time people. They are doing some other say work also besides pound keeping. And pound keepers to be public servants. That means they can be even prosecuted under IPC, section 21. So the state government shall appoint a pound keeper for every pound, and any pound keeper may hold simultaneously any other office under the government. That means government officers may act as pound keepers along with their other duties, and every pound keeper shall be deemed to be a public servant within the meaning of the Indian Penal Code. That is section 21. That is all the criminal provisions, and as well as all the protections to public servants shall be available to such officers. Now the duties. So duties of pound keepers include to keep registers and furnish returns. So whenever such stray cattle are there, so they will maintain a record when and where the cattle was found, for how many days it was kept, how much expenditure was incurred, and so every pound keeper shall keep such registers and furnish such returns as the state government from time to time directs. This is section 7. Then we have 8, to register seizures. Now whenever the cattle are seized, entry has to be made in the register. So when cattle are brought to a pound, the pound keeper shall enter in his register the number and description of the animals, the day and hour on and at which they were so brought, the name and residence of the seizer, and the name and residence of the owner if known. Otherwise, the owner may come finding the cattle when he comes to know that the cattle have been impounded. So whenever that is come, so that entry shall be made. So name and residence of the owner whenever known, so if known, and shall give the seizer or his agent a copy of the entry. So this is a simple pro forma for the register for cattle. Section 9 is to take charge of and feed cattle. Now the cattle should not die of starvation. So the pound keeper shall take charge of, feed and water the cattle until they are disposed of as hereinafter directed. So the procedure of disposal of cattle is also prescribed here. Chapter 3 is about impounding cattle. So whenever cattle has been found damaging land, because India is mainly agriculture country, and in the rural areas, or whenever these cattle are found, they are not wild animals, they are domestic animals, and when they are say stray, found stray and wandering, so cultivator or occupier of any land or any person who has advanced cash for the cultivation of the crop or produce on any land, or the vendee or mortgagee of such crop or produce or any part thereof, may seize or cause to be seized any cattle trespassing on such land and doing damage thereto, or to any crop or produce thereon, and send them or cause them to be sent within 24 hours to the pound established for the village in which the land is situate. So here also this 24-hour limits is there, just like there is in case of human beings. That is, they can't be in police custody more than 24 hours and they have to be produced before the magistrate. Similarly, this cattle that has been found damaging land, so they have to be reported and within 24 hours to the pound keeper. Section 11 is police to aid seizures. So all officers of police, that also includes these say home guards, and shall we have seen the definition in section 3. So village officers could be there, village police could be there. So all officers of police shall, when required, aid in preventing resistance to such seizures and rescues from persons making such seizures. So they will help in this say procedure of seizure. Section 11 is cattle damaging public roads, canals, and embankments. So persons in charge of public roads, pleasure grounds, plantations, canals, drainage works, embankments, and the like, and officers of police may seize or cause to be seized any cattle doing damage to such roads, pounds, plantations, canals, drainage works, embankments, and the like, or the sides or slopes of such roads, canals, drainage works, or embankments, or found straying thereon, and shall send them or cause them to be sent within 24 hours to the nearest pound. So these cattle shall be seized, and they shall be whenever they are found damaging public roads, canals, and embankments, so they have to be sent to the this pound, and the pound keepers shall say take care. Now there are fines for cattle impounded. So for every head of cattle impounded as aforesaid, that is depending on the number of animals seized, the pound keeper shall levy a fine in accordance with the scale for the time being prescribed by the state government in this behalf by notification in the official gazette. So detailed say fine is not prescribed in this, but it is left to the state government. Different scales may be prescribed for different local areas. So it may vary from state to state. Secondly, all fines so levied shall be sent to the magistrate of the district through such officer as the state government may direct. And different fine may be there for different animals also. So list of fines and charges for feeding. A list of the fines and of the rates of charge for feeding and watering cattle shall be posted in a conspicuous place on or near to every pound. Now the chapter 4 is about delivery or sale of cattle. That is how the cattle are to be disposed. So procedure when owner claims the cattle and pays fines and charges. Now whenever the owner comes searching for the cattle, so if the owner of the impounded cattle or his agent appear and claim the cattle, the pound keeper shall deliver them to him on payment of the fines and charges incurred in respect of such cattle. That is, they will have to pay the fines as well as the feeding charges. The owner or his agent on taking back the cattle shall sign a receipt for them in the register kept by the pound keeper. Very simple procedure. He will sign a receipt that cattle have been received back from the pound. Section 14 is procedure if cattle be not claimed within a week. Now, if nobody appears for more than a week, so the procedure is given in section 14. If the cattle be not claimed within 7 days from the date of their being impounded, the pound keeper shall report the fact to the officer in charge of the nearest police station or to such other officer as the magistrate of the district appoints in this behalf. Such officer shall thereupon stick up in a conspicuous part of his office a notice stating the number and description of the cattle and the place where they were seized. So it will be notified. So the pound keeper shall inform the police and the police shall issue a notice, that is number and description of the cattle, that is type of animal, and the place where they were seized. The place where they are impounded and shall, that is where they have been kept. The address of the pound shall also be published in that notice and shall cause proclamation of the same to be made by beat of drum in the village. It's a very old act, 1871. So you can imagine by beat of drum it was published. Now we have better ways of publicizing the things. So publish by beat of drum in the village and at the marketplace nearest to the place of seizure. That is, there shall be beat of drum in the marketplace. If the cattle be not claimed within 7 days from the date of the notice, they shall be sold by public auction by the said officer or an officer of his establishment deputed for that purpose at such place and time and subject to such conditions as the magistrate of the district by general or special order from time to time directs, provided that if any such cattle are in the opinion of the magistrate of the district magistrate not likely to fetch a fair price if sold as aforesaid, they may be disposed of in such manner as he thinks fit. So this is the procedure for auction, that is after 1 week and publishing notice. If there is no claim, then cattle may be sold. Section 15 is delivery to owner, disputing legality of seizure but making deposit. So if the owner or his agent appear and refuse to pay the said fines and expenses on the ground that the seizure was illegal, so they can object to this seizure, and that the owner is about to make a complaint under section 20. So the owner can also file a complaint under section 20. Then upon deposit of the fines and charges incurred in respect of the cattle shall be delivered to him. The complaint shall be later decided under section 20 regarding this fines and charges, feeding charges. Section 16 is procedure when owner refuses or omits to pay the fines and expenses. Now in certain situations it may happen that there is refusal by the owner to deposit the fines and expenses. So if the owner or his agent appear and refuse or omit to pay, or in the case mentioned in section 15, to deposit the said fines and expenses, the cattle or as many of them as may be necessary shall be sold by public auction by such officer at such place and time and subject to such conditions as are referred to in section 14 and deduction of fines and expenses. So the fines leviable and the expenses of feeding and watering together with the expenses of sale, if any, shall be deducted from the proceeds of the sale. And further, there is delivery of unsold cattle and balance of proceeds. So the remaining cattle and the balance of the purchase money, if any, shall be delivered to the owner or his agent together with an account showing the number of cattle seized. That is, once the auction has been done and if some say owner or his agent appears after that, so the procedure is like this. The information has to be given about the number of cattle seized, the time during which they have been impounded, the amount of fines and charges incurred, the number of cattle sold, the proceeds of sale, and the manner in which these proceeds have been disposed of. And then the receipts shall be there. So the owner or his agent shall give a receipt for the cattle delivered to him and for the balance of the purchase money, if any, paid to him according to such account. Then 17, the disposal of fines, expenses, and surplus proceeds of sales. So the officer by whom the cattle was made shall send to the magistrate of the district the fines so deducted. The charges for feeding and watering deducted under section 16 shall be paid over to the pound keeper, who shall also, because the pound keeper incurs the expenditure, so the charges of feeding and watering shall be given to him. Pound keeper is also a public servant. So who shall also retain and appropriate all sums received by him on account of such charges under section 13. The surplus unclaimed proceeds of the sale of cattle shall be sent to the magistrate of the district. That means they will be deposited into the state treasury, who shall hold them in deposit for 3 months, and if no claim thereto be preferred and established within that period, shall at its expiry be deemed to hold them as part of the revenues of the state. So if there is surplus proceeds, that will be deposited with the state. Section 18 was there, application of fines and unclaimed proceeds of sale. So this was repealed by the adaptation of Law Order 1937. I will briefly state what is this ALO or AO 1937. There were two ALOs passed, one in 1937, another in 1950. So this Act of 1937 states that whatever rules have been made by the Britishers for India, they will remain in force until the elected state governments of the states, there were 9 major states at that time, until the elected governments say repeal or modify them, so that there should not be any anarchy. So all the rules of British India are applicable in India as per this ALO or AO 1937. The second adaptation of Law's Order was passed in 1950 when the Constitution of India came into effect. So after Constitution, many laws were changed, but the ALO 1950 says that all the rules made by the British shall be applicable in India until the elected parliament prepares its own rules or modifies the rules made by Britishers, so that there is no anarchy. So there is the lawlessness should not be there. So all the old rules are applicable as per this adaptation of Laws Order 1937 and adaptation of Laws Order 1950. So in 1935, the state governments became Indian. In 1950, the central government also became Indian. Earlier, even in case of judiciary, there was Privy Council. So the high courts were Indian in 1862, but the appeals to the orders of High Court went to the Privy Council. After 1950, the Supreme Court of India came into existence, and the rule of Privy Council was repealed as per the Constitution. Now, officers and pound keepers not to purchase cattle at sales under Act. So the state, that is the public servants or the government officers, can't buy cattle. So no officer of police or other officer or pound keeper appointed under the provisions herein contained shall directly or indirectly purchase any cattle at a sale under this Act. So state servants are they debarred from buying cattle at auction. Pound keepers were not to release impounded cattle. So no pound keeper shall release or deliver any impounded cattle otherwise than in accordance with the former part of this chapter, unless such release or delivery is ordered by magistrate or civil court. So they will follow the procedure given in the Act, say under section 14, and otherwise it could be by order of magistrate or maybe by order of civil court. That is the executive or judicial order shall be followed. Then we have chapter 5. So complaints of illegal seizure or detention. So there is a power to make complaints. So any person who is aggrieved, whose cattle have been seized under this Act or having been so seized, have been detained in contravention of this Act, may at any time within 10 days from the date of the seizure make a complaint to the magistrate of the district or any magistrate authorized to receive and try charges without reference by the magistrate of the district. That means directly the complaint can be made either to the magistrate of the district or any other magistrate who is authorized to receive and try charges without reference. So there could be DM or there could be some other officer nominated by the DM. Then the procedure on complaint. So the complaint shall be made by the complainant in person or by an agent personally acquainted with the circumstances. It may be either in writing or verbal. if it be verbal, the substance of it shall be taken down in writing by the magistrate. If the magistrate, on examining the complainant or his agent, sees reason to believe the complaint to be well founded, he shall summon the person complained against and make an inquiry into the case. So it is very old Act 1871, when there was very less literacy. So DM or the other magistrate was given, say, duty to, say, reduce that complaint to writing, because many people could not say follow the procedure, or villagers were not aware of the law. So at that time they would register such complaint, and if they find that the complaint is well founded, he shall summon the person complained against, maybe some government officer, maybe pound keeper or whosoever, and make an complaint inquiry into the case. The section 20 is compensation for illegal seizure or detention. So if the seizure or detention be adjudged illegal, the magistrate shall award to the complainant for the loss caused by the seizure or detention reasonable compensation not exceeding 100 rupees. It is very old Act, 1871. So the amount of compensation was 100 rupees, to be paid by the person who made the seizure or detained the cattle, together with all fines paid and expenses incurred by the complainant in procuring the release of the cattle and release of cattle. And if the cattle have not been released, the magistrate shall, besides awarding such compensation, order their release and direct that the fines and expenses leviable under this act shall be paid by the person who made the seizure or detained the cattle. That means three types of reliefs are here. Firstly, there could be compensation. Secondly, the release of the animals. And thirdly, the fines and expenses leviable under this act shall be paid by a person who made it illegally, that is, made the seizure or detained the cattle. Section 23 is about recovery of compensation. So compensation, fines and expenses mentioned in section 22 may be recovered as if they were fines imposed by the magistrate. So the magistrate is given the power under section 20. Likewise, they can recover these compensation, fines and expenses as if they were fines imposed by the magistrate. Then we have chapter 6, penalties. So penalty for forcibly opposing the seizure of cattle or rescuing the same. So whoever forcibly opposes the seizure of cattle liable to be seized under this act, and whoever rescues the same after seizure, either from a pound or from any person taking or about to take them to a pound, such person being near at hand and acting under the powers conferred by this act, shall on conviction before a magistrate be punished with imprisonment for a period not exceeding 6 months, or with fine not exceeding 500 rupees, or with both. So this is a minor criminal law. Procedure is generally, say, a summary trial procedure. So there shall be the imprisonment not exceeding 6 months, or with fine not exceeding 500 rupees, or with both. Section 25 is recovery of penalty for mischief committed by causing cattle to trespass. So any fine imposed under the next following section, or for the offense of mischief by causing cattle to trespass on any land, may be recovered by sale of all or any of the cattle by which the trespass was committed, whether they were seized in the act of trespassing or not, and whether they are the property of the person convicted of the offense. Sorry, there was 7:30 alarm. So the procedure for recovery of penalty or fine is any fine imposed under the next following section or under this section for this offense of mischief by causing cattle to trespass on any land may be recovered by sale of all or any of the cattle by which the trespass was committed, whether they were seized in the act of trespassing or not, and whether they are the property of the person convicted of the offense, or were only in his charge when the cattle was when the trespass was committed. So there is a provision for recovery of penalty whenever there is found to be some person who deliberately causes this mischief of causing cattle to trespass. So that illegal grazing is prohibited here in another's land. Then penalty for damage caused to land or crops or public roads by pigs. So any owner or pigs are also covered under the definition of cattle, as we have seen earlier in section 3. So any owner or keeper of pigs who through neglect or otherwise damages or causes or permits to be damaged any land or any crop or produce of land or any public road by allowing such pigs to trespass thereon shall on conviction before a magistrate be punished with fine not exceeding 10 rupees. These are rates of 1871, but it has not yet been say changed. And secondly, there is a provision for this recovery. Just a minute. Yes. I hope I am audible. Hello.
Please continue.
Okay. Yes. So now there is penalty for damage caused to land by pigs. So any owner or keeper of pigs who through neglect or otherwise damages or causes or permits to be damage any land or any crop or produce of land or any public road by allowing such pigs to trespass thereon shall on conviction before a magistrate be punished with fine not exceeding 10 rupees. There is further provision. The state government by notification in the official gazette may from time to time with respect to any local area in the notification direct that the foregoing portion of this section shall be read as if it had reference to cattle generally or by cattle of a kind described in the notification instead of to pigs only, or as if the words 50 rupees were substituted for words rupees, or as if there were both such reference and such substitution. So instead of pigs, this could be extended to other animals by the state government, and instead of fine of 10 rupees, it may be extended up to 50 rupees by the state government. So there is provision for amendment by state governments. Penalty on pound keeper failing to perform duties. So since pound keeper is considered government servant here, so any pound keeper releasing or purchasing or delivering cattle contrary to the provisions of section 19 or omitting to provide any impounded cattle with sufficient road and sufficient food and water, or failing to perform any of the other duties imposed upon him by this act shall over and above any other penalty to which he may be liable to be punished on conviction before a magistrate with fine not exceeding 50 rupees. Such fines may be recovered by deductions from the pound keeper's salary. So there is penalty of say up to 50 rupees to pound keepers who are say government servants. Section 28 is application of fines recovered under section 25, 26 or 27. So all fines recovered under section 25, section 26 or section 27 may be appropriated in whole or in part as compensation for loss or damage proved by the satisfaction of the convicting magistrate. So this whatever fine has been recovered, instead of depositing them in the state treasury, this fine may be paid to the person who has suffered, that is to the victim whose the cattle were seized illegally. So they could be paid as a compensation. So this fine could be converted into compensation by the magistrate. And then the chapter 7. So let us see the last three sections. Suits for compensation, saving of right to sue for compensation. So nothing here in content prohibits any person whose crops or other produce of land have been damaged by trespass of cattle from suing for compensation in any competent court. So for that, a civil suit may be brought into the say owner of the stray cattle. So this Cattle Trespass Act is there, but even the civil remedy of compensation remains. So this saves the right to sue for compensation because this act only looks after what happens to the animals and what is the procedure for. So whenever the crop or some damage has been done, so there is a right of suing in civil court. Then set off. So any compensation paid to such person under this act by order of the convicting magistrate shall be set off and deducted from any sum claimed by or awarded to him as compensation in such suit. So if there is civil suit, then whatever has been done by the say magistrate for cattle, so this amount shall be say subtracted. That is called as set off. That is, there could be claims as well as counter claims under the CPC Code of Civil Procedure. So there is it is called set off. That is we say counter claim by the defendant in a civil suit. So there is provision of set off. And the last chapter, the last section is supplemental. So power for state government to transfer certain functions to local authority. So state government may from time to time by notification in the official gazette transfer to any local authority within any part of the territories under its administration in which this act is in operation all or any of the functions of the state government or the magistrate or the district under this act within the local area subject to the jurisdiction of the local authority. So instead of say doing any job by the state government, it may pass it to the third tier of the government, that is the say local authority. So the local authority are say this Gram Panchayat, Kshetra Panchayat, Jila Panchayat, Cantonment Board. So all these are local authorities or urban local bodies like municipality, municipal commission, so Nagar Palika. So all these are local authorities in India. So the local authorities can be powers can be delegated by state government to the local authorities, and the local authorities could perform the functions under this act. So they may transfer to any local authority within any part of its the territories under its administration in which this act is in operation, all or any of the say functions of the state government or the magistrate of the district, that is instead of DM, some other subordinate authorities could be appointed within the local area subject to the jurisdiction of the local authority. And lastly, there was a schedule. So the schedule has been repealed by the repealing Act 1938, that is 1 of 1938. So that concludes this Act. Thank you very much. Are there any questions on this?
Thank you, sir, for your presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving.
Is there any further amendments for this act, or the act is still remain the same?
Yes, yes, it remains the same. Only there are subordinate legislation. So subordinate legislation differs from state to state, but this act gives the overall framework. So the amendments that were done are up to 1938 only. After that, say the amendments had not been made, but the act remains in force. And there is very little awareness. What I found that many people are not aware that there is such, because mainly it was made for rural India, because there is say problem of the domestic animals. As far as the wild animals are concerned, so there is forest department. So forest department looks after the say wild animals, and whenever there is nuisance of such say animals, although elephants are included here within definition of cattle, but there are say nilgai, there are other animals like monkeys. So they come under wildlife, and then the Wildlife Protection Act is there, and there is separate say we have separate law for that, and forest authorities are given such powers. So there is very little awareness of this, and the implementation may vary from state to state depending on the say rules and regulations that are formed under this act by different state governments. But this is the overall framework for India, and the act remains in force. The only thing is there is very little awareness. Only people who have animals are concerned with these acts. But I think even the social workers should be aware of the provisions, because the stray cattle is often it results into dispute, damage to crops, some say injury to persons, and what is the procedure thereupon. So people should be aware of these provisions.
Yes, sir. As you rightly pointed out, India still remains a majority of agrarian economy. So even in cities also we see a lot of stray cattle, and sometimes I had one question also. What if
Yes,
especially in city, in urban context, if any accident is caused by an animal, so how that is looked upon?
Well, in case of accident, actually, we have in Indian Penal Code IPC, or this harm or injury is there. Injury is there of 3 types. So we have firstly the injury to person, that is human body. So for that there is a separate chapter under IPC, that is chapter 16. So that includes all the offences. It is applicable only to human beings, not to animals. So animals can't be imprisoned. So there is provision only of impounding. As far as the negligence or other things are there, so it comes under the law of torts. So damage to property is covered under that, and there could be civil suits because the animals can't be imprisoned. So to the owner, there could be civil suits, and there will be, shall we say, some compensation that is to be say paid. For example, let us take common example of dog bite, that the dog bites any person. Now the remedy is not that the man will bite the dog. So what is the remedy here is that the amount is in terms of liquidated damages. That is, the owner of the dog shall pay the compensation to the person whom the dog has bitten. So that is a civil remedy that is available. It comes under the torts, and law of torts in India is painfully so. That is, a civil case has to be filed. Then the say compensation or damages are awarded by the civil court. And that is there. The third type of damage is to the reputation. So this injury to reputation is covered under defamation. Of course, that does not apply to animals. So whenever the harm or injury are there, so we have to consider here primarily the injury to person and injury to property. And for that, in case of animals, there is no criminal law. So only civil compensation can be paid, and that is to be done, say, imposed on the owner of the cattle. So that is the legal situation.
Okay. So yes, sir. So in case of stray cattle, then how we would look upon? There is no owner for that. Then who will be responsible?
Well, responsibility is that of the, say, they have to be deposited by anybody to the pound, the local pound keeper. And in case of wild animals, that have to be deposited with the forest, because even under the Wildlife Protection Act, even wild animals can't be killed. We have in Uttarakhand almost 71% of say land as forest land. So there are many wild animals also, and sometimes they become man eaters also. So at that time, the matter has to be reported to the, say, forest officers. Forest officer either, say, kill the animal themselves, or they declare some prize for killing that wild animal who has become man eater. And then the some say poachers, because it is allowed by the government. So at that time they can do this. They may even get the prize. They are not penalized. Uh, they are not fined, and then they have to report that to the forest authorities or to the government that they have killed such and such animal. So this is the provision in case of, say, that is, we can understand that there are different provisions for domestic animals and different provisions for wild animals. So this cattle here includes elephants, camels, buffaloes, horses, mares, geldings, ponies, and colts, fillies, mules, and asses, pigs, rams, and say, sheep, ewes, sheep and lambs, and goats and kids. So all these are covered under the definition of cattle. If we contrast this with the definition of, say, wild animals, then in the Wildlife Protection Act, there is a schedule, that is which species are protected, and there are some endangered species also. So these have been provided different schedules, and these animals have been listed. So we have to consider primarily whether it's a domestic animal. If it is domestic, it comes within the purview of this Cattle Trespass Act. If it is wild animal, it will be dealt with as per the provisions of the this Wildlife Protection Act.
Okay, so there will one more query from Arjuna Kumar. Does the tame of wildlife animals has any act? Domestication of wild animals, what I understand.
In that there are some, actually we have Forest Act also. Forest Act of 1927 is there, which is an old act at the time of Britishers. There is also say the IFS, that is Indian Forest Service officers are there. So whenever any land has been declared as a forest land, so it comes under the purview of this IFS, that is Indian Forest Service. Indian Forest Service is also an all India service like IAS or IPS. So these IFS officers are there as conservator of forests, and they are given the powers under this act. So they implement all the provisions, and as far as the forest areas are covered, they have similar powers as far as the animals and the wildlife property is concerned. Even some national parks and other things are there. So all these comes under the forest officers' purview, and they implement those provisions of Forest Act. As far as domestic animals are concerned, so whether they are in urban area or rural area, they will be dealt with under the Cattle Trespass Act.
So, okay, IFS officers, we understand they are on duty, but what about the common people who are taming or who are keeping or who would like to keep wild animals as pets?
Well, they will have to obtain the permission, because whenever there are wild animals and if they have to be domesticated, or if they have to be, say, for example, we have here monkey nuisance. So if the monkeys are to be captured, then we inform the forest officers, and the forest department captures the monkeys. This is a nuisance even in urban areas, or say some land or educational institutions that are located outside city. So there is this nuisance of say monkeys and wild animals. So they have to be dealt with as per that, and the matter has to be reported to forest officers. Forest authorities will take the action as per the laws applicable to them. So there are separate set of laws for that. Forest Act, for Forest Conservation Act 1980 is also there. Even the Wildlife Protection Act is there. So as per that, those will be dealt with.
Thank you, sir. Hope the query is answered. Pradeep, you can unmute yourself. Do you have any query?
So actually, the speaker has said that we can't keep any wild animal as pets. There are scheduled species, and also there are some wild animals cannot be raised as pets. However, there are certain species, as per the even CITES, conservation of the treaty of species and all. Also, there are certain provisions. We can't keep any wild animals as a pets. It is prohibited in India. And
Yeah.
as per the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, there are some penalized fine is also there, and there also imprisonment is also there. So,
Yes.
and as far as the domestication, you have mentioned, sir, domesticated animals like cattle and all, if there is a owner, if the owner is negligent of his act, so even the municipality, if they consent the purview of a district, there is a SPCS, which we call as a Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. So
Yes.
their responsibility to take care of their well-being. And the owner has to pay the amount, and they can take care of the animal. So if there is an absence of the SPCA, any registered animal welfare organization, the district, according to the district collector, that is a magistrate authorities, he or she can grant the permission for the local animal welfare organization.
Yes, that's correct, sir. That's correct. Thank you for giving this detailed information.
Most welcome.
Thank you, Pradeep. So anyone else have any queries on this? You can feel free to share, ask. You can unmute yourself also. Any query related to animals, whether it may be wildlife or domestic animals? Feel free to unmute and ask if you have any. Okay, if there are no queries or feedback, then we can move on to our next session. Thank you, sir, for your insightful presentation.
Thank you. Thank you to Shri Holistic Health Foundation of India and Shri Research Institute and Center for Art, Science and Wellbeing for giving me this opportunity to make this presentation on cattle trespass at 1871. Thank you so much. And thanks to all the participants also.
Thank you, sir. We wish you all the success. Yeah, we will then move on to Pradeep. Do you have any presentation?
Yes, sir. I do have the presentation.
Okay, ma, you can continue.
Just
Pradeep is also an animal activist who has been long-term associated with us in animal welfare.
I hope I am visible to you. So let me share my screen.
Yes. Feel free to ask any queries. This is wonderful opportunity for social workers who would like to, work in animal welfare or animal cruelty. We have, very good experts with us. Virendra Kumar ji is an advocate, and he is also an RTA resource person. So we have very good resource persons. So you can utilize this opportunity to get all your queries clarified. Yeah, Pradeep, please go.
Hello everyone. So today I'm going to talk about the cow protection and provisions and laws in India. So as the previous speaker has mentioned about many of the very wonderful acts which have been introduced in India like that. So I'm going into the protection purpose. So as you see that before 1993 in rural India, this is a common picture used to have this most of the time in villages and in rural sector also. We used to take care of the cattle like a family members, and even the agriculture allied sector was very flourishing. So later on, after the industrial revolution and also the mere income levels of the people, slowly and gradually, the farmers and also the who are uh, dependent on the cattle, as they are unable to maintain, and moreover, they are not able to get the required feed and also the subsidies from the government. Slowly, they what they have done is they are selling the cattle to the butchers and all. So this is the transportation of animals, how they have been transported so clearly. Uh, these are the common pictures when you might have seen in any urban settings or cities. These are most of the time they have been nose rope, and even if you can see in the pictures, so a lot of the times the cattle are like just like they are dumped like anything. They are not providing enough space, food, water, and some of the times what happens is they actually put a green chili in their eyes also. So it will give them a lot of pain and emotional trauma for them. And beyond the capacity, as per mentioned by the Transportation of Animals Act 1978, so violating these laws, and they have without proper fitness certificate and all from the veterinary doctor, so they have been transporting the animals based on the emotional, since the cattle owners as villages, they are not able to afford the cattle. So with low cost, they actually purchase from them, and they actually transport the animals in such a horrible manner. So they can't even stand. And sometimes what happens is the people, if you can see in the second picture, they sometimes sit on the cattle also. Literally, most of them, they are not that much educated and all. So does India have a cooperation laws? Yes, we do have an India cooperation laws in India. So this was a video just want to share with you. So this actually is one of the particular case. Many of the even a lot of the times cows have been smuggled in India. Even if they are cross borders in India, if you can see the India Nepal border, a lot of the times they have been smuggled. And this was one of the cases which is reported in Adilabad district, where the meat has been transported in an private bus. So upon receiving the information, the local police enacted it, and meat has been destroyed, and the culprits have been arrested. So according to Article 48 of the Directive Principles, it states that to preserve and improve and also to prevent the cow slaughter and calves and other milch animals. Cattle slaughter even is deeply contested issue in India. And moreover, many of the religions also we treat cow as a mother in many of the religions like Hindu, Jains, and Zoroastrians and Buddhism. And moreover, Article 48A, like which part 4 of the fundamental duties, which says that it's the endeavor to protect and improve and safeguard the forest and wildlife of the country. At the same time, Article 21 of the Constitution of India, which gives a right to to choose any profession, and also to enacted by the enforced by the law. So these are the, if you can see the 29 states in India. So there are many of the states which we have a lot of the laws. The only matter is, as previous speaker and many of the, this a lack of awareness, and also like when it comes to enforcing of the laws and all, the most common picture is most of them are not aware of it. And the second most thing why it is the cattle transportation of that cattle cruelty is happening is because of the lack of the fodder availability. And at the same time, the farmer has, like earlier days, he was not able to maintain it. So these are the different parts of India, like how they have been completely banned. They like the cow slaughtering has been completely banned in India across many of the states in 29 states. So if we take the state of Andhra Pradesh, so we have the Andhra Pradesh Prohibition of Cow and Slaughter Preservation Act 1977, which states that prohibition of slaughtering of cattle and like especially cows and buffaloes and anything. So even if the animal is been like needs to be under certain medical circumstances, it needs to be uh, put to sleep. That is following the veterinary doctor, sorry, veterinary certificate. Then only we can do that. And moreover, according to the Section 4, an appointment of the competitive authority that may be made by the government to appoint a body or a person to perform the functions of the to take care of, to take care of the well-being of the cattle and all. So many of the states also, the transportation of cattle is criminalized. They have made in the state legislation that it has been criminalized. So for example, if we take the state of Jharkhand, transportation or sale or possession of beef, even an abatement or attempt to commit the offense, or carries a minimum rigorous imprisonment of 1 year or maximum of 10 years. Even in the state of Rajasthan also, this the imprisonment is up to 5 years. In Uttar Pradesh, they have a state have got a stringent laws. Transportation, sale of beef are rigorous punishment up to 7 years, and merely attempt to commit the offense can up to 3.5 years in a prison also. Uttarakhand also have the transportation carries a minimum of 3. If any person commits for the cattle criminalization, it may have up to 3 to 5. Sorry, 3 to maximum of 7 years of rigorous imprisonment. In the state of Gujarat, also have this. So if someone attempts to transportation of cattle, so they have the 3 years of imprisonment, even for the sale of transportation, even in possession of beef also. So we have many of the case laws too, like many of the state and central. We have about the preservation of like protection of the cattle. And in summary, I want to say is protection and safeguarding of animals is fundamental, right? Even if you can see that not only cattle or any animals, as per Article 51 AG, it shall be the fundamental duty of every citizen to protect our lakes and rivers and to have and even wildlife to have compassion towards all living creatures. And as I said before my slide, the cow is been treated as a divine and worshipped in many religions. So it is our duty to protect them. And if you witness any cruelty towards any animals, it may be livestock or even a cow also, we take a small video and never attempt, as a previous speaker also said, that it is very punishable offense to stop a vehicle when you notice any lorry or DCM carrying an like animals being stuffed. They like, for example, as shown in the pictures, you can't stop a vehicle. You can't. Maybe you can report to the law enforcement or authorities. They will take the action, but you don't have the right to stop it. Maybe you can take the video or photograph as an evidence. That evidence you can show it to the law enforcement officer, who were maybe higher rank of the officer. Maybe if it comes to the jurisdiction of the police station, the SHO, station house officer. If it comes to the particular, if it's a rural part of village, maybe a CA or SI, they will immediately stop the vehicle and they will also arrest the accused person who has violating the the Transportation of Animals Rules and Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960, and also the Motor Vehicle Act, certain rules as amended by the central and state rules, state act rules. So they will arrest them, and the animals, they can be handed over to the district SPCA or any registered animal welfare organization. And foremost thing is creating an awareness among the general public, at the same time farmer level community, because farmers are not aware of it, because because of the lack of the water availability and also the income levels and socio-economic conditions. So these made them to sell the cattle to the butchers, so where they actually illegally slaughter the animals. So maybe strengthening the agriculture allied groups, which will definitely empower the farmer community, and at the same time these animals also get a fodder and food and essential nutrients. Maybe we can see if the animal is, like for example a cow is there, it is not, it has performed its duties still, maybe is more than required age and all, see it is unable to perform it. Maybe there are many agriculture nowadays, we can see that cow dung, the government of India is promoting it. Many of the even use some agricultures, so some even such things, maybe they can use it. Even the cow dung is used as a gobar gas. So such type of encouraging them will definitely empower the farmer level, and also these animals can also have a better animal welfare practices. So that's all. And also strengthening the self-help groups, especially women. So will definitely improve their living standards, and also they can also take and these animals too. Thank you. Thank you, Ravindra sir, for giving this opportunity, and thanks a lot everyone for listening to me.
Thank you, Pradeep, for an insightful presentation. So, Virendra Kumar ji, any additions? Or anyone else would like to ask any queries or questions? One query is there from Arjuna Kumar. We need to have same consideration to the cow and buffalo. Why discrimination among them people have created or law? Yeah, Pradeep, you can answer, then I will respond.
Sure, sir. So, so what I would like to say is the protection of animals. It's not related to only the cow, or not related to, when I say Cattle Preservation Act, it does not related to only the cows only, but it also mentioned to the buffaloes also, bovines, bovines and every. So this is applicable. There is no such sort of discrimination and all. So basically the problem is with the dairy industry. So earlier days we have that 1993, before we used to have this, if you can see that there is a cooperative societies in most of the villages. What the farmers used to do is, like, once they have take the milk and they used to uh, store something, and they used to sell there. And moreover, they actually follow best animal welfare measures at that time. Even we don't know about welfare, animal welfare or not, they used to follow that. But later on, what happened is, as income levels has been boosted and incomes also steadily has been increased. So certainly the demand for milk has been increased. So at the same time, the farmer level community was, like, especially smallhold farmers, agricultural allied industry, they left behind. So that is the reason nowadays, if you can see most of the time in packaged milk or anything. So it has been many, even in FSSAI reports also, it says that 60 to 70% of the milk is unadulterated. If milk is healthy, if it provides a calcium, why the FSSAI reports will say that 60 to 70% of milk is unadulterated? Once the milk is healthy, now it's become unadulterated, and the unadulterated because of the practices, the human way of treating animals. Hope it clarifies.
Thank you, Pradeep. There is one more query from Sunita Pari. Is there solution for the dogs who are hit by vehicles on highways?
I'm sorry, sir. Can you rephrase the question?
Is there any solution for the dogs who are hit by vehicles on highways? I mean,
Okay.
she is asking the fate of animals which are hit by vehicles on highways.
Okay. So the solution would be maybe one thing is you can place a reflective collars. So radium collars, if you like, even if you as a National Highway Authority of India, now, so they have been constructing some for wild animals. They are like since the wild animals are coming to the highways and they are getting injured and all, so they have been constructing protective measures so that the animals will not get injured. At the same time, the human beings also will not get injured. So if the case of the street dogs, so maybe you can approach the municipal corporation or any animal welfare organization. So most of the cities, they have been organizing a reflective collar drives. So maybe you can you can make a representation to them. So this is animals have been like mostly street dogs have been injured because of the road accidents. You can place a reflective collars. So these reflective collars, what actually happens is they are radium collars. So which will definitely alert the rider. I mean, whoever are driving the vehicle, they will alert them, and it will prevent the vehicular accidents both for the the person who is riding the vehicle, at the same time for the animal too. Once he notices that there is a radium light and all, he will anyway stops it and he will observe there is an animal. So at the same time, we will give an horn sound too, buzzer sound. So the animal also safely will go aside, and it will be some sort of a preventive measure to protect the stray animals from getting injured, especially from the highways.
Hope it is answered. If any other queries, you can feel free to share or unmute yourself and ask. There are no further queries, then I think we can move on. So thank you, Pradeep, for sharing this wonderful presentation. So basically, responding to the query of discrimination, see, as per the law, there is no discrimination, but the discrimination always is from the individuals. As Pradeep has rightly mentioned, actually, initially, when we look at, buffaloes were never used for milking. That has a different history altogether. I don't want to discuss it, at least now. So buffaloes were never used for milking. Only cows were being used. And also India was a Hindu country. There is no doubt about it. And the belief system in Hindu, or even the word Hindu emerged when there was no religion at all, when only Sanatana Dharma prevailed. Sanatana Dharma was not a religion. So that's why we refer it to as religionless societies. So that is, Sanatana Dharma is always the universal principles, universal rights and universal, which is applicable for everyone, including plants, animals. It's an universal order for all species on the planet. Often it is, referred in a wrong context. Again, Sanatana Dharma is also politicized like Hinduism. Like even cow is the most compassionate animal on the planet. It has a lot of benefits, but see how it is politicized by various communities to target Hindus or Hindu belief system or Hindu religion. So this kind of discrimination is happening. You know, do animals have any religion? Can anyone respond? Religion is only for human beings, not for animals, not for birds, not for plants. Because religion is created by the human beings. And religion will not survive without human beings. Human beings can happily survive without any religion. If a human being follows the universal order, say Sanatana Dharma, there is no need of any religion on the planet. Religion, caste, creed, all are created by human beings. It was never mentioned in any scripture. Even Vedas did not mention anywhere this caste system, Varna system, all have been created by the people for their own vested interest. But you know, we already lost all our ancient knowledge, tradition. And most of the people who talk today about Vedas have never read Vedas. And what is authenticity? Now, a person who never read or read, which is a manipulated, rewritten book, and he says that I am authority, I have read so many books on Vedas. And how authentic is that statement? I'm not just talking about Vedas. It can be Bible, it can be Quran, it can be anything, any religious text. So we need to understand this politicizing of animals into certain, every religion has one or other symbol animal. Basically, we need to look at, no, we are discriminating. Why we are discriminating? Even in human beings also it is discriminating. This discrimination prevails, right? We are discriminating human beings based on their occupation, based on their productivity, in fact. So, where is the discrimination? Is discrimination based on the productivity and the belief and the status and the position it occupies, right? Are we not discriminating human beings based on the status, based on the position, based on the occupation? Are we treating the same, sanitation workers as an IS or IPS employee or a government employee or as a professor? Do you treat the same person who is, or forget about other things. Most of us are from academic background. Are we treating the sanitation worker in our own university with the same respect as Vice Chancellor? How many agree? Raise your hand. How many are treating like that? Not even a single person, right? So that is the discrimination created by us. Now, who is responsible for that? So similar discrimination, see, after knowing so much, after acquiring so many degrees, doctorates, still we are not able to have that common sense that we all are human beings and universal rights are same for everyone irrespective of their caste, creed, religion, color, race, ethnicity. Still we are not able to recognize each other human being as an equal living entity. Right? So similar way, even the same human being, that's why I call human being as a notorious species on the planet. They are predators of the planet. Today, the planet, which has survived from millions and billions of years, is in the verge of extinction because of the human activities. Today, we cannot go outside. Now, it is not summer season, it is spring season, but still we are not able to step out because of this rising temperatures. Imagine in summer what it could happen. See the plight of Bangalore now today, the extreme shortage of water. Bangalore is known as, green city, flower city, whatnot. Now, a severe water crisis. And not even summer. Many cities are going to be on the same, more or less same trend. So all these kind of discrimination is created by us, by certain communities. We have to look the belief systems. See, I am not against any religion or any belief system, but a religion or a belief system which does not promote peace, harmony, humanity is not worth a religion or a belief system that is worth practicing, because it's against the human rights. It's violation of human rights. Discrimination is violation of human rights, and anything promoting that kind of religion or a belief system is violation of human rights. You are violating human rights, and violation of human rights is an offense. Hope everyone agrees with it. We have advocates also on our panel, as well as they will also not differ from it. So in spite of learning so much degrees, earning so much degrees, we lack that basic common sense. I see even in highly educated community, this is widely prevalent like a disease. Unfortunately, I am also included. We often fail to treat, we often fail to understand this common concept, but we treat them. Not anywhere else. Within the educational institution itself, forget about sanitation worker. How a professor sees an associate professor, how an associate professor sees assistant professor, how an assistant professor sees a lecturer. Is there no discrimination? So these kind of discrimination is widely prevalent. As a social worker, we need to address these issues also. It's a right question pointed out. And these are the things that also need to be addressed by the social work. That's why I was telling before the session, social worker has to first change himself or herself. Then only we will be able to change the world. Now you can see my DP or my picture, what it says: social workers change the world. But unless and until we be the change we would like to see, we will not bring the change. First of all, we should change. Unless and until we change, it is always preaching, no practicing. There is no use of that. So let's end the discrimination from ourselves. Let's not discriminate. Discriminate in terms of various aspects which have been already discussed. So similarly, if any discrimination is there among animals, law never discriminates. But in practice, it is discriminating. Again, that's a different topic altogether. Law is different for the rich people, the wealthy people, the poor people. Again, that we will not get into that controversial discussion. But even there, in correctional settings, in judiciary, in law and order, social worker can play a role to to fight or stand towards justice or righteousness, to conduct and to ensure that the system runs ethically, morally, following the rules and regulations. All these things are there, which are part of this. So anyway, thank you once again for the wonderful presentations, both Virendra Kumarji and Pradeep. We wish you all the success for your future endeavors. And finally, we have one presentation, then we will close it. So she is also back of me. No, she doesn't follow the timings at all. She's from Nigeria. Sorry to mention on platform. But she's troubling a lot. She doesn't follow the timings. And unfortunately, she is a law author and lecturer. This is a paradoxical thing that happens, But anyway, that is part and parcel of life. She wanted to present. So we are giving the opportunity to everyone. I take it on a lighter note. So we'll give to everyone. Social worker means he or she endures everything. So that doesn't matter. So Chigozie Ifioma, are you there? You can raise your hand. Sometimes they immediately share and they get disappear themselves. Yeah. So you can unmute yourself, start your video and start your presentation. See, why we have so many rules, laws, acts? We need to follow them. If we ourselves don't follow, what is the point of having so many things? Yeah, you can start your presentation.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Yes.
Yeah,
Good evening.
Please go ahead.
My great organizer. I thank you for giving me the opportunity. I am Chigozie Ifoma from Federal Republic of Nigeria. My seminar title is The Role of the Nigerian Legislature and Constitutional Developments. In order not to be out of tune with the 2024 theme, which has to do with social work, I'll be talking about the role of our country's legislature and just be able to make a brief mention of what our legislature has done so far in regard to social work. This paper, starting from my abstract, deals with the Nigerian legislature and legal developments it has achieved over a period of time. As we know, the legislature makes laws for the citizens and for the effective administration of the country. In Nigeria, the power of the legislature is pronounced in Section 4 of the 1999 Constitution, which states that the legislative powers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria shall be vested in a National Assembly for the Federation, which shall consist of the Senate and the House of Representatives. Section 4.2 goes to say that the National Assembly shall have power to make laws for the peace, order, and good government of the Federation or any part thereof, with respect to any matter included in the executive legislative list set out in Part 1 of the second schedule to our Constitution. Therefore, the legislature has absolute powers to make laws for the benefit of Nigerians or alter any relevant section of the Constitution it deems necessary to do so. In order not to waste the time of my organizers and fellow participants and presenters, I'll be going straight to page 15 to talk on the conclusion and wish to state as follows. It is interesting to know the development of the Nigerian legislature dates back to as far back as 1862 and started from having no law-making powers to having the powers to make laws for all parts of the country, and from a unicameral legislature to a bicameral legislature. Today, the legislature of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has members of the Senate and Federal House of Representatives. Nigeria had regions and at some point had 12 states, Later in 1976, the number of states increased to 19, with a federal capital territory known as Abuja. And in later years, the number of states in Nigeria increased to 36 states, as we now do have. That is also the way the National Assembly initially started, with a few members, and as of today has a total of 109 senators and 360 members of the Federal House of Representatives. The Federal House of Reps is presided over by the Speaker, who is assisted by the Deputy Speaker and 8 other principal officers, who include the Majority Leader, the Deputy Majority Leader, Minority Leader, Deputy Minority Leader, Chief Whip, Deputy Chief Whip, Minority Whip, and Deputy Minority Whip. Aside the discharge of its core mandate of lawmaking, representation, and oversight functions, the National Assembly has been a stabilizing force in the promotion of the nation's ideals, good governance, and most importantly, the resolution of industrial disputes between the federal, states, and the state governments and the labor unions in the country. The efforts of the country's legislature have so far been commendable, but they can do more to put smiles on the face of Nigerians. Now, I would like to say that why I say the legislature can resolve disputes between the federal and state governments, or even between the federal government and even its citizens, is the fact that in respect to the social works that we are talking about now, the Nigerian Council for Social Works Act was passed to become a law in 2022. But the problem right now is that the Nigerian Association of Social Workers are feeling that the procedure that brought about that Council for Social Works Act of 2022 is defective, probably because they were largely not co-opted into the making of that law. The Council for Social Works Act is made up of council members who were appointed by the federal government. Therefore, the Association of Social Workers in Nigeria are feeling that the council is there to protect the interests of the government and not their own interest. Meanwhile, they are the ones who are the social workers who are to perform the functions of social work in the society. Again, we have the institutional framework, which is the Chartered Institute of Social Work Practitioners Establishment Act of 2022. This also was brought about to become a law without the input of the National Association of Social Workers. Therefore, I am making a humble plea to the Nigerian legislature that they should please revisit the Nigerian Council for Social Works Act 2022 by co-opting the Nigerian Association of Social Workers to have a say, to make an input. It may be the law is not really defective, but the members of the Social Workers Association in Nigeria, they are feeling they are left out. They're actually dissatisfied. I think if they follow the legislation and take a look at it again, they may discover really that there are really no defects as such. But the thing is, they want to have a sense of belonging and as the major stakeholders, they really feel that they should have a large input into this law that governs social workers in Nigeria. So I think in respect of this, I also want to commend our country's legislature that they are also in conformity with this World Social Work Day for the fact of having our own legal framework and institutional framework already in force. It doesn't matter that the defects, if any, are eventually discovered, may be minor, but at least Nigeria is compliant in this regard to being part of the World Social Work Day, I must say. But let our legislature just do little things for us by making our National Association of Social Workers members have that sense of belonging. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Chigozie,
Very grateful for the opportunity given to present.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Wishing you all the success. Hope you got
Thank you very
2
much.
times opportunity in the previous conference and also this seminar. Congratulations once again. Previous year, we had collaboration with the Nigerian Social Workers Association for the social work. So nice having you to be part of this international seminar. So thank you. If anyone has queries, you can ask. She is, if anyone has any query in correctional settings, she is also a law, faculty, and you are also a police officer?
I'm a law lecturer with the Police Academy.
Acha, okay.
Police University,
you are a
yes.
law faculty at Police Academy. Oh, that's nice. So if
Yes,
you
I'm a
have
law
any
lecturer
queries
for the
in
Police
a
Academy.
Okay. How do you see, especially social workers in correctional settings? How do you see in your country how it is different from other countries? Do you see any differences or similarities? Can you share some insights on that based on your experience?
I would say that in the Nigeria police force, we have the police community service relations, in which the Nigerian police do meet with the civilians, the citizens, the ordinary citizens, to discuss if they have problems within their communities. The problems could involve social work. In the case of the police having to assist financially to put on some projects, like in some communities, there may be scarcity of water. We may have to report to the police, the police officer, say, in this area, this scarcity of water is causing crisis. There are fights here and there. Please, can you assist us to to improve on the community? The police can decide to come up with a water project. They construct water project for us, and then people stop buying water at expensive rates, because water is actually a natural gift of God. They stop fighting where they are selling water at exorbitant prices. I think apart from that, the police also does try to create peace, even amongst people within a community, even if it's not a police issue. They also try to reduce the rate of crime in their own way, even by working at hours when they should be sleeping. They make that sacrifice of social work by getting up late into the midnight to attend to cases that may be brought to the police stations. Those cases could range from wife battering or husband battering, or people fighting themselves at night, or even a case of a robbery. The police come out to take their lives. That's to me social work, to social work to save those people who have reported that there is a case of robbery going on somewhere nearby. So I feel this may not actually be different from other countries of the world, like the United States of America, where we have very, very perfect, adequate security network. It's difficult you talk about robbery going on in the United States and it's unchecked. It doesn't happen there. I have siblings living in the United States, and they tell me you can walk around at any time of the day or night. But it's not so safe in Nigeria for us to do that. And that is also because of socio-economic conditions of living in the country. Things are actually difficult. You have to really work hard to make ends meet and to survive. So there is robbery, there is a high rate of crime. But saying that the police is making sure they are doing their best to really curtail the rates of crime, even by being called to serve at unusual hours when they should be resting. They don't actually really rest. So I think I commend the Nigeria police force in that regard. And I want to say that bringing about peace and sanity into any community is still part of social work. I'm expecting other countries not to be worse than Nigeria, that rather they should be a par or actually better than us in that regard. We need to promote world peace. Every country of the world needs to be peaceful. We don't need crimes. And I'm sure India is one of those great countries too, where peace reigns, where the police are also doing their best. So I'm proud to be part of the program being organized by you, Dr. Ravindra sir, and other organizers. And I really appreciate this great opportunity given to me to present my works.
So thank you, Chigozia, for your wonderful presentation and value addition. We look forward for more sessions in future in upcoming events. And we wish you all the success and congratulations once again for taking your valuable time and joining us.
I'm so grateful to you, sir, and your other organizers. God bless you all, sir.
Thank you. God bless you too. So we'll move on to. So this is the last presentation. So we'll not take much time of yours. So we are sharing the feedback form. Kindly fill up the feedback form, and we'll also be sharing the feedback form through Google form later on. Now you fill up the feedback form within the Zoom platform. Then later on, you have to fill the feedback form, which will be sent to your email. Then after that, we are giving time till tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, 24 hours time for you all, those who are present, those who are not present now. You have to fill the feedback form by tomorrow evening. So what we'll do, we'll wait till tomorrow evening, and then we'll start processing the registration data. The attendance and the feedback data all will be processed by system day after tomorrow, and within next 3 to 5 working days. All the certificates will be prepared, both the last 1 week certificates and also today's 1-day seminar certificates, all will be available for download on the website. The same link, website link, which you have received through email and which you have received in WhatsApp group, the same link, you can go. I will show it now, no need to worry. But we don't entertain any calls or messages regarding certificates. See, basically, you need not call us. We are very systematic. Nowhere, I mean, most of the time, only for appreciation, people call us. Otherwise, there is no need to call us on any other aspect, because the system is in perfect, sync. So you have to register and you have to attend, participate, present. The Zoom automatically records all the attendance, and then you need to fill the feedback. Feedback form serves majorly 2 or 3 purposes. First thing is your attendance, presence in the platform for the sessions. Second is to take feedback on presentations, on the organizing of this entire program. And also it gives a proper opportunity for those who couldn't share their queries or further suggestions and all, not related to thing for collaborations or any other query. It will help you through the feedback form. So these 3 main purposes itself serves along with other purposes. So with this, we thank each and everyone for being part of this, and even the Google form, which has been shared in your email. Give me some time. I will also share that form link as well. You can fill up this. Don't worry about that form, because that is anyway available with you. Even that form also we have opened for input. Let me share that link also. But you first fill up this form, because once this meeting is closed, this form will be closed automatically. In the meanwhile, those who have filled the form, if you have any feedback, appreciation, or any suggestions, feel free to share. If you have any, you can feel free to share. Otherwise, after filling the form, you may leave the platform. So thank you once again, everyone, all the participants, all the presenters, collaborators who have collaborated and who have been part of this one-day international seminar, and also who have been part of the entire World Social Work Day, Social Work Week, Social Work Month celebrations. We have put our best within the limited resources we have within the very short time. And we also tried our possible best strategy to include all the presenters, participants. As it was a very short time, that's why we were following with everyone by daily, almost every day, sending emails to all the registered participants. So you might have checked the mail or not, but it's in your email unless and until you have provided a wrong email ID. It can always be a spelling mistake or typical, error, because some mails also got bounced. So I'm not sure. And even the WhatsApp group link is also shared. So for you all to receive updates, those who have difficulty in accessing mail or getting updates through email, you can join the WhatsApp group. The link has been shared, and even the feedback link, Google form link on the website, which can be filled by tomorrow evening, is also now accepting responses. So we thank once again, we express our gratitude and we congratulate each and everyone for being part of the celebrations. And definitely, as various events, in terms of participation, presentation, this stands to be one of the largest celebration, especially, as part of World Social Work Week also, in terms of diversity of various countries participating, and the entire credit goes to you all participants, presenters who have joined from various countries and made presentations and made this event also one of the biggest event in India, I can say, because I also attended various other social work day celebrations. But the kind of diversity, the kind of participation we have from different countries, this stands to be, as usual, one of the largest presentation. So thank you once again, everyone, for joining us. And I congratulate and appreciate personally, as well as on behalf of our entire organizing team. And we wish you all the success for your future endeavors and look forward for your presentation and participation in the upcoming programs. We have a daily webinar series, international webinar series that is running from 6 to 8 p.m. every day. With the same joining link, you can join. And for that also, we are giving certificates. Earlier, we used to give it on a regular basis. Now, we are giving it at the end of the series. So, a slight change has happened. So, even there are a lot of opportunities. You can participate, present in upcoming sessions. So, feel free to join us. And if you want to disseminate any topic, feel free to join back, contact us anytime. And I request you, don't call us for certificates, don't SMS for certificates. We cannot resolve on WhatsApp or call because it is handled by system. Any queries, generally there is no need to call us. You need to wait, at least wait. So today is Sunday. So wait, considering 3 to 5 working days. So wait till next Sunday and ensure that you are completing all the formalities. One thing is registration form, whether you have filled all the details correctly or not. If not, you might have already received a copy of registration form in your email. Check that. If you had made any mistake, if you need any corrections, fill it once again. No need to worry. And check whether you have participated or not. There is minimum attendance criteria. So if you are eligible, you will automatically shortlisted for certificate, and also ensure that you are providing feedback. Ensure that you are filling up the feedback form and submitting it. After completing these 3, you wait for some time at least till next Sunday. By the time Before that only, all the certificates will be updated on website. You can download it. I will also show you from where you can download, how you can download. And those who have filled the quiz and submitted quiz, already we have issued certificates till March 30th afternoon. Whoever has completed the quiz, we have also organized World Social Work Day online quiz as part of these celebrations. So those who have, attempted that quiz have been given certificates. So you can download them from the website. I will also show you from where you can download. So hope this answers all your queries for participants. For presenters, you need to share your PPT, your file and biodata with a brief summary, because these proceedings are going to be published. So we need that summary of your talk or presentation, which can be published, and ensure that it is in proper order, proper content, because once it's published, it will be there forever. And, you will be entirely responsible for that. So take enough care and try to prepare very well and send it. So these details are a format, in specific format, what documents are required. We have sent it to you in the email itself. You check the email, you copy that format exactly, you fill the details, you attach the required files and send it to conference email ID or the seminar email ID, which is WSWD2024@gmail.com. So only after you send your details, your certificate will be processed. So the delay is from your side. Unless and until you send in the specific format to the conference email ID, we will complete the rest of the process, because system will check whether you have registered or not, whether you have attended or not, or whether you have filled the feedback or not. That system will check and it will give us the final list. And that will again be processed for certificate generation. That participants will happen. For presenters, you need to share these details. So before certificate generation, we will also cross-check whether we have received details and the documents required from your side. Only after that, certificates will be issued. So if there are any queries, now only you can ask. Don't trouble us afterwards on calls or messages. If you have any queries, you can ask now. I'm happy to answer. Hope it is clear. And regarding website, I will just share the screen and show you how to access the website and how to download the certificates. In the meanwhile, if you have any queries, any appreciation, any suggestions, you can feel free to unmute yourself and ask.
Hello, sir. I have a question.
Yeah, always mention your name so that I can recognize.
My name is Badal Khan and I am from Peshawar, Pakistan.
Sorry, your voice is very low, ma. Can you be a bit louder?
Sir, my name is Badal Khan and I am from Pakistan.
Oh, Badli Khan. Okay. What's your query, ma? Oh, Badil Khan. Sorry.
Yes. Sir, I used to know that I am a participant. So I also share all the data, my personal data, or not. Sharing data is just for presenter.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Only for presenter, you need to share additional details. As you know, that in the proceedings, we'll also put their photo and their presentation title, and along with that, a half-page summary or a small paragraph of summary. That's why we are asking them to send that. So our participants don't need to send anything. Hope that is clear.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So this is the website address. It's very short and simple. You need not remember. It's already there in your email. The copy of the registration form which you have filled contains the website address. Okay. So this is the website where you can find all the events. So this is the event, today's event. You can see it here on the top. Generally, this disappears after some time. Now, where to find? After that, here there is navigational menu. Here you can find. So this will also go down as in when new events come up. It will be down somewhere down the line. You have to check it. So now, as it is here on the top, because this is the present event that is happening, you can see all the details are mentioned. Here you can see what is the event name as part of World Social Work Day celebrations. Date and time has been mentioned. Time zone also mentioned because we have participants from across the world for them to easily identify their local time. And you can see who all are collaborators who joined us on this occasion. And you can see the registration form link here. And quiz, I was mentioning about quiz. There is another opportunity for you to be part of the celebrations and also gain one more additional certificate. So once you fill this quiz, that will also help you to gain insights on how much you know about Indian social work in Indian context, especially with respect to various organizations and dates. So you can use this form quiz and you complete it and submit it. Sabina Yasmin, kindly mute yourself. We will get back to you after this. And feedback and e-certificate form. This is the form you need to fill up. So which has been already sent to your email. You can access this form and fill the feedback form. As of now, you fill the feedback form within the Zoom platform. After the meeting gets ended, you can use this link and fill up the feedback form. And joining details, this link is same for not just this event, but all the events that are happening, that will be happening, even future also, unless and until there is some significant change. This link is same for every day for all the events. So no need to, it's very easy. This is the contact number of coordinator of this entire program, which is none other than myself, Dr. Ravindra. And this link we have created in 2022. Before that, there was another link. There was some technical problem. So we had to change that link. So till now, there were only two links. One that is old link that is that is also there, still functional, but we are not using that link. Now, since past 2022, we are using this link for all the programs. So joining link is also same, which is coordinator's mobile number and year 2022. This is same for all. So once you remember this, you can join any event on any day, anytime, whichever is scheduled. So as already mentioned, same mobile number. It's already in your contacts and email IDs. For every year, the email ID gets changed. Only the year. So for 2024 programs, it is 2024@gmail.com. Because you see in other sections of the website, you may find different email address. That's why I'm mentioning. So any queries regarding events that happens in that year, kindly ensure that, because we have regular participants attending since long time. So they already know that I am anyway mentioning those who are new. So accordingly, you have to address to that year email address. So you might be attending in future also. So I'm telling you. So the program website and e-certificate link. So this is the particular, though this site remains same for all events. You can access all events from this main site, but every event has a web page associated. So this event has this website where you can directly, by clicking on this link, you can reach out. This link is available in your email along with your WhatsApp group and social media messages, where in WhatsApp you might have received the registration message. Somehow someone or myself have shared, you might have registered. So in that also it's available. And WhatsApp group, which we were mentioning, we have created as some participants were requesting. So you can join this WhatsApp group. So there is no charges for anything. It's clearly mentioned. Everything is free and it's open. We are very transparent and there is no charge for any event, any program on this platform. So if anyone is telling that there is some charge, don't believe them. Or if anyone is asking and telling that, you can present on this platform, don't believe that. The entire platform is free, open, and you have to follow the instructions, register yourself. And if your content is good, if you are following the rules and regulations, you can make the presentation. So everything is free on this platform. We don't take any donations also. We don't take any sponsorships for this entire program. Entire program is free. And we have clearly mentioned that every participant has to join at 11 a.m. and presenters have to share their details. And as per the queue order of list, will be invited. So we have clearly mentioned all the instructions. In this page itself, we have sent an email also. All the instructions are there. But we, unfortunately, many participants or presenters don't read these instructions also. And they keep asking same thing. But try to understand we have limited time and we are organizing daily events. We need time for our personal things, official things, and we do have to do regular work. And all are volunteers only. There is no full-time payment for this entire project. We don't want to involve money anywhere. So we all are voluntarily contributing to this. So try to understand that and conduct yourself in a very compassionate manner. When you are unnecessarily wasting our time and resources, it's wasting your time and resources, and also it will prolong. It will delay the process because we will not get time. The very little time we get here, spend here, we have to utilize it. And if you waste those time and resources, it will get delayed. And there is no one can help you because we are the ones who can do something or everything. And if things get delayed, then ultimately you are going to be at loss. So we are very systematic, very disciplined, very accountable manner we are doing. That's why you need not call us at any phase, at any point of time. Like you have registered, you are attending, and you will also get certificates. No need of calling us. It's not like, only those who know us will be given opportunity. Nothing like that. This is a complete, a truly honest will, with no discrimination. It's an open, truly open platform where everything goes as per the system, as per the rules and regulations. No one is exceptional. Everyone has to follow the rules and regulations, including me. We have set some rules and regulations. Everyone has to follow. Those who are following, they will get the benefits. Those who are not following, they will not get the benefits. If you are not getting the benefits or if you are getting partial benefits, then you are only responsible completely you are only responsible for that. Because you have not followed, you are delayed, or you have skipped something. So you are only responsible. So we are providing all the instructions. It is available. You are not reading, or if there is only some problem from your side, then you might lose some benefits, or you might not get some benefits. Again, who has to correct? You yourself have to correct. So we will not keep checking every once and again, because every day we have new work to do. We cannot get stuck over there, and our future work will get affected. So we cannot daily go back and forth. That is not possible. And we are not doing that also. Once lost is lost. So we all have to be disciplined so that we can conduct things smoothly. We have been doing that. So that's why any benefit, any loss, ultimately is yours. We are only facilitators. We are helping you. If you are organized, if you are disciplined, and you will automatically get all your benefits. Because we are not charging anything. We are not seeing, even if you are completely unknown to us, we are supporting. There is no discrimination, known person, unknown person, or this country, that language, this language. We are completely open. We are very transparent. Whoever follows the rules and regulations, whoever completes the formalities, they will get their benefits. If you are not following, we cannot help you. And if you don't get your certificate, the person to be blamed is yourself. You cannot blame anyone because everything is online. And we have the records also. And don't think that you can easily get away. We have the record if whether you have filled it properly, and 99% those who had concerns, we found that 99.99% it is the fault of the participant. They don't understand. They think everything. They take everything for granted, and if you yourself don't work for your success, then no one will work for your success, right? So it is your priority. See, I am very blunt, but that is a fact. I don't want to be in a very, nice, sweet words. But ultimately, as a social worker, I should not do that. I should be very clear and precise and to the point and telling. So because I supported whatever support from our side we have given, we have extended. So we are mentioning that in case of any trouble, that it is on your side. Whatever from our side we can do, we are doing, we will do it. No one needs to remind us, because we are doing as we truly believe in work is worship, and we truly believe in service to all kinds, not only human beings, but all animals, environment. Service to all kinds is service to God. That's why we truly believe in that, and that's why we are doing this as a service to God. So we know how we do worship. Similarly, we are doing this work. So there will be no delay or this thing from our side, unless and until there is something pending from your side. So make sure, that's a time and again I'm telling, ensure that you are completing all your details. You're strictly following, like a small child, you follow the instructions as it is given, no questions asked. You will get your certificate, you will get all the benefits. If you don't follow, then that is your own risk. So this is the event website. I mean, within the same website, it is sub-page, web page. So here, see, terms and conditions, rules and regulations are there. And e-certificates here. You can see the link. Even here also we have provided. You have not registered, you register. The feedback form is there. Then here you can see the link like this. For quiz participants, as we have already said, 30th March 2024. Till afternoon, whoever has filled, completed and submitted this quiz, we have issued certificates for them. And those who are still submitting, even today, tomorrow also, you can submit your quiz. And for all them, we will be issuing on the first week of April. Here we have mentioned. So that's why I told you. So next week, by next weekend, we'll process all the quiz certificates, presentation, participation, provided you complete all the formalities. And after that, there will be no certificates generated. Because again, we cannot go back, as I already mentioned. Practically, it's not possible for us because we need to focus on everyday event. Every day we have an event. Every day we need to do the same process. So we cannot wait and go back doing the previous work, and the future, present and future work will get affected. So we are not taking, we did it earlier, but we face a lot of issues. Our time, resources are limited. So we are not doing it now. So after that, no certificates will be issued. So we are giving enough time. At least now, those who have not completed, strictly follow the format and send it. Because the system reads from the email. It is not human being that is going to read your emails, formats. It is the system that is going to pick from the email. So if you don't follow the format, what will happen? It will check for the exact format and will pick, say if it is full name or name. After that, it will scan for name and it will pick up the data from there. If you type your own something else, or if you just type name, it will not pick it up. So that's why we are saying strictly follow the formats. Again, system will not pick it up and your certificate will not be generated. So that's why people, we see a lot of messages, I have sent there, I have sent here. You will get lost in your own this thing. So forget, if you are filling there, filling here, sending there, sending here, all that you forget. But whatever is mentioned, you have to do it. Because it is system that takes care of the entire process. So you have to follow them to get your certificate. So tentative schedule also we have mentioned here. And the flyer is there. Okay, all the details are here. We have mentioned. So if you need at any time, and we'll also update the YouTube links also here. So last week, we had one more event, that is 1 week. This is 1 week conference that was held for 8 days. 7 days presentations and last day was valedictory. So those who have attended, see, similar fashion, why I'm showing this is, so this was pending. We told that it will be done after this event because anyway, 2 days is there. We are closing. So in this also we have quiz certificates we have issued, and all with this 1 week and 1 day, both the certificates will be issued in this week's time. So wherever you see the events, it will be more or less the same format. So quiz like this, you will find a drive link for certificates. You can click on that. And you can see all the certificates here. So you can, every certificate has a unique name and can be verified. That's why if you can see in the feedback form, it is asking for date of birth. That date of birth is used along with your other details to verify your certificate, if it is a genuine certificate or not. So that's why do not enter anything just as it is, like it's just some date. Tomorrow you will find difficulty in verifying your certificates, or even if someone wants to verify your certificate, so that is very important. At least we need to have some information where it is known personal to the candidate or the recruiter or the university. That's why we have chosen date of birth. So whenever you are entering, and keep that in mind, we have also mentioned at that column that it is for certificate verification. So carefully enter correct date of birth there. That will be used for data verification, certificate verification. See here, you can see total 232, I think. 232 participants have completed quiz. So we have given certificates till 30th afternoon. So you can see every certificate has a unique serial number. For all the events, you can see every event certificate is verifiable, has a unique certificate number for participant, presenter. So you cannot create certificate yourself and say this was created. And this will be there online. Anyone can just come and check. No need to send us email or no need to call for verification. They can come here, simply check whether your certificate is there. If it is not there, it is not genuine. If it is there, it is genuine. As simple as that. So all we are transparent in all the ways. So all the certificates, even the entire proceedings is on YouTube live. People can go there, verify whether conference has happened or not, whether you have presented or not. Everything can be verified. Everything is genuine, everything is real, everything is authentic, everything is open, transparent. So you can select your certificate, whichever it is. Certificate number as well as name is displayed on all the certificates for all events. So you can check where is your certificate and you can download it. So hope that is clear with respect to certificates. So don't keep messaging. We will not be able to respond because we cannot explain, take so much time and explain for each person, each candidate or each participant. It is not practically possible. So whatever is there, you have to send it through email. There is also format. You can explore the website. You will find a lot of information there. For making a request for certificate, there is a format. For everything, there is a format on the website. Because it is processed by system, you have to strictly follow that format. If you are not following, even if you send 1,000 mails also, it is no use. Instead of that, send one email with specific format, wait for some time for us to look into it, and then automatically your work will be done. If without following the formats, without following the instructions, if you keep sending like chat messages, where is my certificate, this name, that name. That's why we are also giving format even for the chat box also. If you don't follow that, system will not pick up the data and you will only the one who is going to face the problem. That's why not only now, in future also, if you are attending our programs, kindly use the format which we give you. Otherwise, the problem comes there only. So hope all the queries have been cleared. And if you still have any queries, ask now itself. You can unmute yourself and ask if you have any feedback, if you have any suggestions, if you have any appreciation. You can share it in chat box or orally by unmuting. Hope everyone has filled the feedback form in Zoom platform. So if there are no further queries, No feedback to be shared, no appreciations to be shared. So we shall close the session. So thank you once again, everyone, for joining us. So see you all tomorrow. If you can attend daily series or in the upcoming events. So see you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night.